I'm busy. I don't care what people do in their private lives. I just don't care. But that being said, I also think that it's incredibly cruel to shame people. We talked about this last hour, who are vaccine hesitant, especially considering everything that they've been through with distrust and mistreatment of them by government agencies and distrust of these government agencies. And I'm not even talking about just the past year. Let's go back even to 2008, 2009 with the Tea Party and the way that they were treated and the IRS mistreatment, etc. If you want to talk about distrust of agencies, let's look at the VA catastrophe and how you had veterans dying waiting to get basic primary care. There are a lot of instances that really shore up a distrust in these government agencies and in bureaucrats and politicians. And I don't shame or blame people for that. Look, if the government doesn't realize that an absence of data, an absence of answers means that people are going to speculate, then we have an even bigger problem than I thought. And that's exactly what's going to happen. People will speculate when they don't have any information. We just had this, I'm going to pull this up. We just had this Wall Street. We talked about it really in depth this week, but I just to cite it again, you got it a couple of days ago in the prep email. But Wall Street Journal had a really good piece as to about the number of kids, fatalities with coronavirus, and how every single one of those kids, going from the CDC information, the Wall Street Journal was discussing how they had other underlying health issues that were very serious. And whenever we're talking about these cases, even in the very beginning, when it was cycle threshold and Florida was like the only state that was including the CT score on all of this stuff, even in the very beginning, every single positive case was treated as a presumed fatality or we're just waiting for these people to die. And I understand, believe me, I'm a germaphobe. I understand, perhaps better than most people in this country, a healthy fear and respect of germs, right? But at the same time, I think we have to be very smart and we have to be logical and we have to appreciate nuance and realize that a positive contraction does not necessarily mean a fatality. And the data on that we have is quite clear. Nobody wants to get sick, but I think we need to stop shaming people who are hesitant because the government hasn't given them enough answers. I think we need to stop shaming them as murderers because they simply have questions that their government agency and their elected officials can't or won't answer. I've been talking about this with a number of friends of mine. I mean, there have been women who've had issues with menstrual cycles and hormonal issues and people who are going through the whole IVF process that are worried about how that would affect them, and then pregnant women and et cetera, et cetera. What if you have inflammation issues? What if you're someone who, has an issue of inflammation of heart tissue? I mean, these are questions that it should be very easy to go to just a government website and here's the FAQ, frequently asked questions. I've looked at the CDC website. I've gone through it with you live on this program. I've looked at WHO, and not because I'm trying to engage in some kind of confirmation bias, but because I have questions too, right? I would like my questions answered. Like, again, I'm not against vaccines at all. And I really do think, while at the same time, I completely believe that Tommy Lee Jones is a prophet from Men in Black when he said that a person is smart, people are sheep. There's some truth to that. However, I do believe that when it comes to a serious issue like this, I think that the American people have proven that if you just give them information and you're just straight no chaser with them, I think that people will, if they feel that they've been given every bit of information and everything that you have, they'll come to a conclusion based on what's best for their health and that of their family. And like, for instance, we were talking about this yesterday. They were dueling articles that were discussing the strength of antibodies, whether if you contracted coronavirus and had it, or whether or not you got the vaccination, because there have been sound bites and editorials and reporting that were even back and forth on that. And I understand we live in an era of amazing information. It's at our fingertips, but at the same time, please tell me that people in the White House do understand how beneficial it would be to have everything kind of in one nice, tidy, neat little area, right? Come on.